Fam, sleep paralysis is no joke. And from somebody that experienced that firsthand, I would wish it on no one. With that being said, a film focused around that, I definitely wanted to check it out to see what it was all about. But the question always remains, is it worth you checking out? Well, we're going to discuss that in my review coming to you right now. And welcome back to the channel, folks. Hopefully by now you have subscribed to the channel so you can get all the latest and newest movie reviews. Today, we're going to be reviewing the film Come True, which is going to be in select theaters, digital platforms, video on demand, March 12th. Brought to you by IFC Midnight. So, sleep paralysis. If you have no clue what this is, if you've never heard of it, it's like the feeling of being conscious, but you're unable to move. So, it's like, and this kind of happens in the midst of like waking up yet being asleep. It's like a gray area in between. So like imagine the idea of you being completely conscious of things, but you can't do nothing. It's almost like somebody's completely holding you down, strapping you to the bed, wherever it may be. And you're like fully aware of things. Like just think of that. And like while you're in the midst of it being a dream or it being reality, it's the idea that you could be thinking or seeing things that isn't there, or could be thinking or seeing things that is there, and you just don't know. It's like, it is, yeah, it's creepy as hell. It's by far the scariest thing that I've ever experienced in my life, not even playing. But with this film was absolutely that. It was creepy and yet thought-provoking. Now, my thing about this is that when you start talking about films with dreams and whatnot, it's always that middle margin of reality versus imagination. It's that debate. So yes, this definitely has this film is very thought-provoking, but I think it also adds to maybe a social commentary. Not so much in the sense of like a really prominent topic, but you know, like the inceptions of the idea of like, was it a dream or was it reality? Was it awake or were they in a dream? And I think this film tracks upon that same conversation, except the issue is that it's an independent film, so like it's not going to be a lot of people talking about it. So with that being said, I think it's going to be one of those type of ones where other people's reviews, other people's comments, reactions is all going to be really key for the ones who found this film, because I definitely am beyond curious to know what other people are thinking, especially within like the last closing moments of this film. And with that being said, even with it still being an independent film, you know, I just think that it allows you to really set your ideas, and I think it will go a long way instead of it being a topic that's oversaturated by a bunch of people, since it's not a big blockbuster film. But with that being said, what's happening in this film? So you have this 18-year-old girl, Sarah, played by Julia Sarah Stone, who is having reoccurring nightmares, and she stumbles across this new sleep study, which basically is going to take her situation, try to help her sleep, and yet study, you know, what's going on in her brain while doing so. At the same time, too, they also have this new little study that they're working on, and it actually makes her situation way worse. So I don't know how else more to put that, but yeah, she goes into thinking she's looking for a solution, comes out with trouble 10 times over. With that being said, I thought the premise was great, but I was a little bit underwhelmed with how the film was executed. I thought the cinematography was flat out amazing. I thought the low light scenes and some of the use of color contrast and even with neons, I thought was just done really well. I was a little shocked at the ending, but also didn't see it quite fitting. But at the same time, too, I think it's one of those ones where, again, you're going to have to kind of decide your interpretation of the ending of this film. Yes, it is a horror film mixed with some sci-fi. The acting was okay. But overall, I felt a little bit underwhelmed because I thought the premise was really good, and I thought it was going to really go down some really dark roads. But I'm also glad that it didn't, because I also didn't want to like really have those thoughts in my head, because like it really does, like like the imagery and the figures that are being shown here are like so vague that, you know, you start to think about things here. But overall, you know, I think this is a film I would like people to check out because I'm very curious to know what everyone's interpretation of the events in this film. Like, what are your assessments and analysis of what's happening? Going back to Julia Silverstone, I thought that with her performance, I thought it was very demanding of a role, and I thought she really executed really well as far as like bringing its viewers into her shoes, because of the idea that folks may not know what sleep paralysis is and or know what, you know, what those experiences may, you know, reactions of those experiences may be. I thought that she portrayed those from somebody that's dealt with it. I thought she portrayed those very good, and I thought it was very insightful to the idea that it will make you decide to like want to educate yourself on it more. And obviously the director, who's been, you know, really interested into this subject for a long time, you think that you know, there's a message to be told here, yet I think it's also going to open the door for us commentary from others to kind of really, you know, put their experiences in this and kind of relate and or whatnot. So, but anyway, nonetheless, Come True is coming out March 12th, folks. Is very important in this one that when you check it out, you come in the comments and let me know, because I'm very curious to know what your analysis of this film was. Again, I thought this film was a little bit underwhelming, but I thought for the premise is intriguing enough for people to, you know, to check out, to kind of, you know, give your thoughts about it as well. So, but anyway, folks, thank you so much for checking out my review, and I will be catching you all very soon for more reviews. Peace out, folks.